tell you, this boat, as you can see on the sign, is one of the first original boats using the first BassMaster Classic ever. There was 24 of them made, and all the guys fished in them, and then they started the trend of selling them after the Classic. And this boat here was bought by a man in Durham, North Carolina, and he kept it about 6 months and sold it to a buddy, and that man kept it 40 years and had it sitting on the side of the road, and I bought it. And they were, a lot of people thought they were always Rangers for the Classic, but the fun part is that the Ranger plant had burned up in May of '71, and Forest Wood could not get boats made in time for the Classic in October of the same year. And Ray Scott went to the Rebel Boat people who make Rebel lures, and they had started making boats, and he made the deal with them to supply the boats for the first Classic. And so here it is, and it has the original engine, has the original trolling motor, the original Lowrance sonar on it, which by the way still works. It has the original boat cushions in it. The man who owned it for 40 years never left them on the seats. As he was going from home to fishing and back, he would take them off and put them in the rod box because they had a tendency to disappear in the wind. And they are all exactly the same color, red, white, and blue. And what's neat is in the Classic in '71, there was hardly any color. There was a color video, or we call them videos now. It was probably a millimeter film, a great big heavy camera used out of a helicopter, but every other photo at the first Classic was black and white. And it's so neat that people get to see these boats in its red, white, and blue shiny self, and they get a real kick out of it because it's very patriotic. So I normally wear a flag shirt when we're doing this, but I had worn mine 2 days in a row, so I had to wear a different one today. But anyway, we'll take a look at the boat and take a look down the side, and so you can see what it all looks like.
So we'll start here at the back of the boat.
By the way, the decals, the Rebel decals, all that are all original. They unbelievable that they're 51 years old and they're still there. And it's I did not have to do any gel coat on the boat. I did a lot of compounding and buffing to bring it back. Now all the wood had to be refinished. It's all teak, and it all had to be sanded and resurfaced, and they all come right back to look almost exactly like new. I have a whole binder full of before and after pictures. A lot of people get a real kick out of seeing this. I have pictures of it. That's the way it looked the day I brought it home. And the trailer was orange. The red paint after 51 years, it decided it wanted to be orange. And there's the dash. As I took the units out, and it looks pretty ugly, but after some hard work, I took it off the trailer, had it suspended in my 2-car garage boat restoration place. There's the trailer when the boat got off of it. Looks kind of ugly, doesn't it? But I love it. Then I changed it. There's another one. I took all the stuff off. By the way, I had it sandblasted. There it is, pretty naked. No paint, all gray steel. And I found a place who, just like they do fishing lures today, a lot of jig heads are powder coated. This whole trailer was powder coated. Pretty big oven. You can make a big loaf of bread in there, but there I got it back, putting all the parts and pieces back on it.
That's brand new.
And here it sits at the same place it was sitting a while ago. Looks a little bit different. The only thing that I have on this boat that wasn't stock, original from '71, is the rims and tires. It just made it look so much better. I couldn't stand it. I had to replace the old steel wheels with the ones that are on it now.
A lot of history here.
And it made it there's all the teak. There's 5 different pieces of teak wood in the boat, and they all have white pinstripes. You can see that one in the front. See, it has white pinstripes on it. And it is a little bit of work to get those back in. Here they all been, everything's been sanded and ready for refinishing. That's where the steering, the gear shift lever is, and the accelerator. No hot foot in this one.
No hot foot in this one.
And then all the gauges, after I redid it, I'm putting the gauges back in, and there it is, ready to crank up and zoom down the lake at 38 miles an hour. And back in 71, folks, that was flying. It was advertised to run 38, and it actually does. It's been GPS at 38 miles an hour. And
looking at classic history live here at the 52nd BassMaster Classic, at the first bass boat ever used in the BassMaster Classic with the current owner. And this is truly amazing, getting a full walkthrough of the history of the boat. We're going to show you guys the ins and outs and give you a little bit of the history. Take a look at the trolling motor, original motor guide. I believe this is an anchor system.
And speaking of that, look, the only kind you can buy today, they're identical, they're black. And everyone on the original classic boats were white. And in this day and time, it's so wonderful to be able to go online and do stuff. I found an original one in the box on eBay, and there's the original box, original coloring, and you can see here the holes where the thing goes. And this has only been about 3 weeks before this filming that I was ready to start assembling stuff back on, and there's my brand new Acre Mate that was in the box.
This to come from here to this as I'm holding it. I'm holding a piece of history right here. This is truly amazing.
And the motor guide, a lot of people have never seen this. The motor guide, once it got a foot control, was made by the first grandfather clock company in Starkville, Mississippi. And you can read that clearly on the head of this trolling motor.
We'll come around after we get on this side and we'll check it out on the actual trolling motor itself.
As you can see, there was a little oxidation over 51 years, and
look at it now.
Now they all look pretty cool. And here we were pretty much ready to go to the classic. Only thing I wanted to do was take one more picture and put my flag up. So
best flag in the entire world.
And
United States of America.
What other country where you can do this and have this much fun chasing fish? So this is not a fancy workshop. This is Doyle's 2-car garage boat restoration shop. But I have had so much fun doing it. It just, every time I put my hands on it, it makes me extremely happy.
So we walked through the front, walk us through the middle and the back here, and tell us a little bit more about it, a little bit more in depth.
Okay, what a lot of people didn't realize, these seats right here, they are almost a ½ inch thick of solid fiberglass. The seat and pedestal together weigh almost 90 pounds. These are the same kind of seats that they put in race cars back in 1971. They put them in little dirt track race cars, and they're extremely strong and heavy, but you don't buy pedestals like that anymore. And by the way, one of these was stuck in this boat so bad I had to cut it off and get the piece out. So just things that you have to do to restore it the way it needs to be.
Well, you can see the teak with the white pinstriping Will was explaining. You can see the layout of the first boat ever used in the BassMaster Classic.
And by the way, I had so much fun with this, I contacted Bobby Murray, who won the first BassMaster Classic, and we are 99% sure that he won it in this boat. He fished out of boat number 10 at the very first BassMaster Classic.
Wait, so you're telling me not only was this the first boat used, this boat won? This boat was the first boat that ever won a BassMaster Classic out of this boat?
I'm going to change my number. I think it's 99.9% sure that it was.
This has become more special.
So And when doing that, I contacted Bobby. The first time he saw it, he had a cow. But anyway, he told me exactly what he caught the fish on to win the classic. It is this exact lure, and this is exact rod, reel, and line. And I keep it in this boat because people get a kick out of seeing it. And if you want to know, it's
golden history right here.
It's a Zorro aggravator spinnerbait. A lot of people have heard of them. They still sell them. And it's a.
It looks pristine. It looks brand new.
Well, it took me 2 months on eBay to find this stuff. It's a Browning Silaflex rod, a 5,000 Ambassador level line, 12-pound string, and a Zorro aggravator spinnerbait. And he won the BassMaster Classic on that exact deal. Pistol grip rod.
It's amazing.
And I thought since this is the boat, he ought to have a rod in there. So I ain't have to tell you what I had to spend to get it, but I found them. I love it.
We won't release that secret. Here's the rim and tire. Let's take a look at the console. Let's see the gear shifter, how clean the controls are, steering wheel, seat. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is extremely thick. Inboard. I believe this is an inboard.
It's an inboard outboard.
Inboard outboard. Oh my goodness.
This is a 4-cylinder Renault engine. It's the same engine that was in if you're sophisticated, it's a Renault. But I'm from North Carolina, so it's a Renault. But it's the exact engine that was in those small Renault cars. It's 90 horsepower. As they advertised them when they sold them after the classic, it runs this boat 38 miles an hour.
This is all original.
Yeah, all original.
This is a true part of history here at the 52nd BassMaster Classic. The first boat ever in the BassMaster Classic, 99.9% sure. This boat won the first BassMaster Classic. As you've seen, the rod, reel, and lure. And speaking with the current owner, and we are so happy and blessed to be here with him, and we thank him so much for his time and energy and spirit and sharing with us this piece of BassMaster history.
You can tell I don't enjoy talking about it. It is so much fun. I feel so blessed to have found it, and I love it every time I'm around it, and talking with people about it. It's just so fun for me.
Well, we thank you so much, and we're going to get a pan shot of it, and we'll be talking with you real soon for the future.
All right, thanks.